Welcome to the Take 148 podcast, produced by 148 Films. Join us as we explore video production, creative storytelling, and the real stories behind the lens.
About to get real good.
Ryn, welcome to the Take 148 podcast.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, so you and I met, like a year and a half-ish?
Yeah, about then.
Pretty early on in my world at 148 Films. Like even before this studio was built.
Yeah, it wasn't fully completed yet.
We had not opened. And it was like, hey, Skip was like, hey, I need you to go to meet with our photographer extraordinaire, Ryn. And I think we sat like at Oaks for an hour, maybe more.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
First time
that
at
was
Oaks.
so long ago.
It was a long time ago. A lot's happened. And then talk through everything and you're like, here's how this is going to go.
It's
and
like, here, just download everything that I,
I'm taking notes. All right, got this. Here's how this is going to work. So little backstory for everybody listening and watching. You do a lot of the photo work for us for one of our partners, shooting playgrounds and kids on playgrounds and all that fun stuff. So you can explain it better than I can. So pretend we never met. What do you do with us here at 148?
Okay, for 148, I like to be a utility team player. So I get thrown in the ball game, and whatever needs to happen, I try and show up and represent 148 really well. I love working with clients and also kids and just capturing large-scale products like playgrounds all the way down to tiny things, just all of it in between. But with 148, it's primarily been working on playgrounds.
Okay. Yeah, I forgot that you'd done some work intermix, like when those partners call up and they're like, hey, we need this product photographed or this environment or whatever. And it's like, well, we've got a team, so let's boop, boop, boop. There's Ryn.
Yeah.
So
I do tend to find myself in heavy client relation aspect. I just love working with clients. So a lot of hands-on with people is where I really thrive, I think.
Yeah. I mean, it's a big deal. It's relationships are made and broken.
Especially kids. You got to act crazy to get those kids' attention. It takes, I go home, I'm like, what was I doing? But
it helps that you got a couple littles at home, right?
Yes.
It's not like you're walking into it foreign and it's like, here we go. I got this.
I know exactly how to get their attention and keep it typically.
Right? All right. So in our world, we like to do pre-production anytime we're doing video work for a client. And that's just the research, doing our homework to make sure that we can deliver a product for our clients. So we're going to do some pre-production on
All right, let's go.
The hardest questions you'll get asked all day. So here we go. Dream travel destination.
Oh, wow. I absolutely love traveling. So the thing that came up immediately was Iceland to scuba dive between the tectonic plates. So that's my
What?
Yeah.
What does scuba diving look like in Iceland?
Yeah, I mean, it's cold, but you can actually go in between the tectonic plates and just dive that fault line. So
really,
yeah, that's probably top of my list right now. Or I would go Australia too to dive it's all around scuba diving.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's a common theme here.
Yes.
I didn't know that. So are you certified?
I am.
No way.
PADI Open Water certified. I got certified in England, out of all places. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
We've got a dive center 5 minutes from
I had to go all the way to England. Yeah.
Really?
Dry suit. I've never actually been diving in the United States. So I need to do that.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad
Other than
we led
a pool. A pool.
Other than a pool.
Yeah.
The training pool.
It's all been, abroad, but.
Wow. Diving the tectonic plates in Iceland.
Yep.
What's the depth? What's different? What would have to be different there? Do you even know what it's going to require?
I don't actually know what it is required.
Bucket list.
It's just bucket list.
Wow.
Let's do it.
Okay. All right, so we're gonna scale back a little bit on question 2 here.
Okay.
So let's imagine you're driving to the airport to fly to Iceland. What's your favorite road trip gas station snack?
Ooh. Oh, I think this has changed recently. Nerd clusters.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Did it change because Halloween was a couple nights ago and
no, I actually didn't even have any nerd clusters, but
okay.
they're just like a ball of joy. They're so good.
I tried some for the first time. I think it was last Halloween. And my daughter was like, here, Daddy. And boop. And I was like, oh,
Yeah, unexpected and delicious.
I'll take it.
But you can't have too many. But you just like pop them in. They give you a little energy, short burst.
True.
Yeah.
Little short burst. Okay. And what are you grabbing out of the cooler? What's a drink?
Oh, just water. Actually, ice. That's what I really would grab. I love crunching ice.
You're on a road trip and you're going to crunch ice.
Yep.
Okay. But the nerd clusters give you all the energy.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Fair
I've
enough.
actually been traveling for some 148 gigs, and I have had ice and nerd clusters, so it's so appropriate.
Okay. So if I ask Malachi, he can verify.
Yep.
Okay. All right. Good to know.
Yep.
All right. Go-to karaoke song.
Ooh. Okay. This is funny. I was just at a conference in Arizona, and I was asked this question. And the
Really?
song that came to my mind is I'm a Gummy Bear. But that's because of my kids, okay? That's the only one that was like top of mind.
Would that even be played in
I'm a Gummy Bear.
in a karaoke system?
No, absolutely not. But I thought it had a good, it's a little jig. So
That's fair.
it was a bop. I think I could have gotten the whole group doing it with me.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah.
All right. So that song aside, what would be your go-to?
Probably
karaoke
Wagon
song?
Wheel.
Okay. Little Darius Rucker.
Yeah. Just because
Okay.
I like the everyone getting involved and having fun.
Sure.
I cannot sing, so we need to.
You're gonna need the little crowd participation.
Yes, crowd
Okay.
participation to make it fun and not everyone's ears bleeding.
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Favorite. I'm sorry, not favorite. Give me a book, film, or podcast that's changed the way you think about something.
Ooh, okay. I'm not. I mean, a Bible is the ultimate book. Okay,
Sure.
but I am not a movie person.
Okay.
I fall asleep. Movies are my nap time. So,
All right.
but podcast, I would probably say Revelation Wellness by Lisa Keaton. And it's talking about being whole body, mind, and soul, healthy and whole. It's so good. It's been very transformational.
Okay.
Yep.
Comes highly recommended.
Yes. I've spent hours and hours listening to, and there's no ads. Which,
Even better.
Now in a world of podcasts, I listen to so many with ads, and it just feels like a little sliver of oh, wow.
Yeah, the worst thing is to be really deep and hooked by the conversation or the content, and then it just cuts away to a hard ad read or something.
Yep.
You lost me. So,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
All right. So let's talk about Ryn, the early years. And the conversations I've had with people so far on the podcast has been, geared around the creative journey, where, what your earliest creative memories are, and maybe where you think that kind of creative fuel started in your life.
Yeah. Okay. This is such an interesting, when I've been thinking through just little Ryn.
So long ago, right?
Yes. And so I feel like I remember getting it was this Barbie camera, and it didn't even actually work, per se, but I remember just running around already taking pictures of everyone. And I was creative in other ways too, just with painting and drawing. But to be honest, I could never actually get what was in my head to come out of my hands on paper. And that was pretty frustrating. So I think I turned towards creating with people because I could communicate, and then I could get them and rechange, and they would cooperate a little bit more than me trying to draw a horse with my hand. So
you could see it in your mind's eye.
Yes.
But it was not translating.
It was not translating on paper. Which that progression, I've jumped ahead now, and I'm doing a little bit better with painting and it actually coming out, but still. So yeah, I think from an early age, I just loved seeing people. As I've grown and done some introspection, internally, I think one of my greatest wounds, if you will, is not feeling seen as a kid. And so wanting to operate and make sure that people felt seen became actually a superpower of mine. And it's been really fun to walk that journey. And just in high school, I started to make money doing photography, which I was already doing. I just started being paid for it. And then I was like, wait a second, I can make money while I'm doing this. And college, I kind of veered off, still doing lots of creative things, but was more focused on, get this degree, to do this job, to do this. And as I progressed down that track, I did well at it, but it just wasn't, setting my soul on fire. And I didn't do art because everyone was like, you'll never make any money.
Sure.
So I ended up changing my major 6 times.
Wow.
Right? Random.
Did you graduate on time?
I graduated with a victory lap. 1 victory lap.
I've never heard it called that. A victory lap.
Yes.
What do you call it? A 5th year senior?
5th year senior. Yes.
Victory lap.
But with good, because I ended up studying England. And so I did all my coursework, and then that last lap, if you will, call it that, was because I chose, and I moved to England, I studied scuba diving, hot glass, and photography. And I traveled like 18 weekends
like
blowing glass.
Really?
Yes. And so it was just like this season of just creating. And it was creating and traveling and random conversations with random people all over. And it was a fun, I love that season. Looking back, I'm like, that is just a gem of, and that is probably one of the best seasons for me, feeling most like Ryn. And I was just creating and talking to people, and I knew it was short term. So it's like, I knew I wasn't going to come back and blow glass all the time. So I just left it all out on the table and learned as much as I could. And it was so fun.
That's wild.
Yeah.
So it sounds like to me, you would say your creative journey definitely hit its stride in college. And
Yes.
Like you found that passion. And
It was like cool. I was trying to force myself into a less than creative. Okay, my major was chemistry when I first started. Yes. Okay. That was my first. I was like, I'm going to be a pharmacist.
Okay.
And because I love science. Yes.
Very exact.
Exact.
Okay.
And so I was like, let's do this. And I thought it was a formula to success. And I kept trying to force myself to fit in this box, which I did appreciate. Like, I appreciate the sciences.
Sure.
But then as I kept going through all the different majors, trying to find a place for me to actually marry my love for curiosity of the sciences with the creative element, I ended up in psychology.
Oh, okay.
Right. First of all, because it took the most of my credits, so I didn't have to have 2 victory laps.
Sure.
But also just the study of people and behavior. And I now look back, I'm like, that makes total sense, especially with a camera being my main source of, creative outlet and working with people. I actually used my psychology degree way more than I thought I would when I walked across that stage. So
okay, so let's fast forward just a second, because I'm curious before we leave this. How do you see yourself using that degree behind the camera and working with people?
Ooh, okay. So if we're going into the wedding world, which pre-COVID I did mostly weddings.
Okay.
You get high stress and you get family together, there's psychology all over the place. Like really working with people and anticipating and knowing behavioral patterns and how to just bring people back down to their bodies and stuff, because there's so much fragmentation that happens throughout big events like that. So definitely. And then now, let's see, that's pre-COVID. Now where I end up working with people most is with headshot sessions. And that is a whole other element of psychology and coaching that occurs in 5-minute chunks. And it also, it's heavy on the on the psychology of showing up in front of a camera and being seen. So,
yeah, absolutely. Because I know a lot of those people that need headshots are in a place where obviously they need that image of them, and a fair number of them don't want to be on that side of the camera.
They absolutely despise being on that side of the camera.
It's a necessary evil of the job.
It's a reality check. You get in front of that camera and under those lights and you're like, I feel so exposed. And then now I'm looking at this image and what is on this is not what I think I look like in my head.
Sure.
And there's a lot of having to bring people back of I have a rule. Okay, for headshot sessions, I'll take off 3 pounds, 3 years, and anything that would be gone in 3 weeks or less. Because I get asked for the craziest, which is not actually crazy, but you know what I mean? It's by the time I got done editing, in post processing this photo, people would not recognize that it was you.
It's like a poor AI representation.
Really, it is. Yeah. And I'm noticing just like an uptick of that now with AI and just how quickly you can like transform and be, 20 years younger. And so that end of the coaching and psychology is like, that's where I spend most of my time now.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So what are you doing real time with a client at a headshot session that you can tell like they're not comfortable in their skin, they're not comfortable in what they're wearing, they're uptight, they're not giving you a real smile?
Yes.
Like, what are you doing to kind of craft that image that they need?
Right. Okay, that's a very good question. Clothes are hard because most of the time they've come in what they have come in. So I can't really change too much.
Sure.
Now, say it's like covered in dog hair, I assure them, I'm like, I've got this. Like, we'll, post-process this. It'll be fine. There is a lot that I can do in post-process to upgrade clothing. So that is more on the prep side of things of like wear something you feel comfortable in. Now, when I'm talking to them face to face, I will be like, you are a good idea. Like this is amazing. This is going to be fun. We're going to have a good time. And if you could just borrow my eyes and see the way that I see you for, 2 seconds.
I like that.
And, I do act a little crazy in my headshot sessions because I want the emphasis to be off of them and on me. Because it usually breaks down that wall and the barrier of like, I'm under these bright lights. I'm starting to sweat. And then I do get to know them and start to kind of ask some questions or try and draw and make some connections. So really it's about quickly shifting the mood and taking the focus off of I'm in front of a camera and having a fun experience. I'll play music. Yeah. Most of the time people they think it's like DMV style and they're like, this was a party. I'm coming back. Yeah.
I mean, that is the advantage of photo over video. You can play music. Nobody's going to hear it in the photo.
Yes.
So you can do a lot. Okay. Do you see a difference in how women approach a headshot or photo session versus how men respond and react?
Okay. So true. Women, I have to have like double or triple the amount of time it takes. But to be fair, it's not all because they're critical. It's more of like, ooh, let's do your hair like this. Let's do this. And they might come in with a couple different outfits. My gentlemen are usually like, hello, take my photo and leave. And they're like, I don't even want to look. They're like, I don't even want to look at it. I trust you. Just choose the best looking one. Whereas now, I mean, there are some outliers. There are some guys who we do spend a little bit more time, but they don't typically, I would say, break down the wall of like insecurity with me. Whereas women, I think, may be more comfortable doing that. And so then it turns into like, okay, talk out loud when we're reviewing these photos so I can hear what you want me to either emphasize about you or de-emphasize. And then I'll coach you through like, this is how we can make that happen. So, there's things all over the place. Like if my face is slightly this way, you can see like a dark line of the gap in my tooth and it looks like I don't have a missing tooth which is helpful if someone talks out loud about that kind of stuff.
Sure.
So that I know how to like position them to avoid that.
You don't often see those. Not often, I shouldn't say that. You sometimes don't see those details as the big picture photographer.
Right.
They live with it every day.
And they are, have some sort of either negative or positive experience about that of themselves. Typically, it's about a voice in their head from someone else from when they were young.
Sure.
And I look at them and I would never even notice that little tiny gap in their teeth makes them feel like they're missing a tooth. And so really, once I break down those walls and barriers, I can deliver a photo that they feel confident in. Getting to know those little, things that actually make a big difference of how they perceive themselves on a screen.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. So taking a few steps back, was there anybody early on in your photography journey that you latched onto like as a mentor? Ideally somebody that was here in physical proximity to where you were working and living, or like, was there anybody that, gave you influence regardless?
Yeah. I will say it was so difficult to jump into like the physical like community at the time. Now this was, I don't know what, 12 plus years ago. And aspect of community wasn't really about like all tides rising the boat. Like it seemed a little bit more like cutthroat. And I remember I was just like, I will do anything for free. Like I'll carry your bags, you know, and it was just like, didn't. Yeah. So I did go online, and the person that I feel like I've learned most from, both creatively and business wise, would be Caitlin James. She had courses and podcasts and just like always over delivered, like exceeded expectation, and did so. And it was just so beautiful. My brain understood what she was saying. So she really taught me to focus on light before location, which is opposite. Most people think location before light.
Sure.
But I can do a lot with a location if I have the right light. I can, you know, make it look really beautiful and magical. So
Absolutely.
yeah, I think just listening to her really gave me a advantage and made it work. And I mean, I've done some things in person with her now too, gone to conferences, and then as soon as I started getting some traction, then people started being like, oh, you can come.
There you go. You had to prove yourself, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I think I photographed like almost 8 weddings completely free.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
And that was partly some of my own insecurity. I was like, I'm not showing up to charge you until I know for sure I can deliver well. So, which is, I probably could have gone away with one, because I look back, I'm like, these photos were good.
All right, so let's compare those 8 weddings to the last handful you've shot. Like, give me the compare and contrast in really like time spent on shooting and editing, and the relationship side of things. And I mean, obviously technology's changed a lot.
Oh yeah, technology has changed so much.
Yeah, so like looking back, like what are some big differences between those sessions and now?
Yeah, I would say the way that I shoot is not very different.
Okay.
I would say from, you know, Ryn on a wedding day in 2017 to Ryn on a wedding day now. Which is really cool, because I think like I always saw those moments. I didn't have to like learn the actual, and even from a technical standpoint, I think if anything, I know how to anticipate people and moments more, and know where I think my craft has really developed is in that pre-planning process and that relational component to know how to serve that particular client best. And even that kind of jumps over into my more commercial and corporate work, is that, you know, developing the rapport to actually deliver what they're asking. Because most people, I've learned, they're saying something and thinking they want something, but then you have to listen to hear those places in between those lines to actually get to what they actually need.
Sure.
So I would say the craft of working with people is the biggest. And then, of course, like all of the editing has, I mean, that's just leaps and bounds different, and faster computers, faster, you know, hard drives that write faster. And I manage and store data much better. It was pretty clunky, you know, 10 years ago. And now it's like I can pull anything up pretty quickly. So I would say those are the biggest.
So you feel like your
spots.
style's kind of been consistent. You've always kind of had the same eye compositionally and everything. Maybe color has shifted through the years as you've kind of played with some
just
things.
Barely.
Okay.
I have been a fairly authentic and timeless from the beginning. And that has been my heart behind what I'm doing. I want to capture like what you really feel like. I think I had an experience where a friend got married and I was in the wedding, and my bridesmaid's dress didn't even look like the color of the wedding day. And I was like, I just immediately thought, when she looks back at these images years from now, it's going to be really hard to remember what color she chose for her, you know, bridal party to wear. And that's something that I've always tried to stick to, is like, let's be authentic too. And some people love that, but I wanted, and now I see how it's serving me well in product photography, because you know, corporations and companies who have designed a specific element of this product don't want it to have a skewed color. Like they want it to actually show up. And to be frank, like actually capturing something in that true color it is very difficult.
It is.
It is like, you have to know color science, the slightest amount, to be able to carry that through in a consistent manner.
And your understanding of lighting, to your point about, light being a priority, lighting is that much more important in the product space.
I don't want to say it's easier just to kind of blanket color and call it your style.
Sure.
But it is probably faster. I'll say that, because you aren't having to look at the minor details of lighting situation changes throughout a day.
Sure.
And keep it consistent. So, yeah.
All right.
Don't come for me. Don't come for me.
I love it.
All the photographers listening, I apologize.
So the fun thing about, here we are in 2025 as we're recording this, the AI tools continue to develop.
It's nuts.
And take over in some worlds. But I'm like you in that I prefer a pure real to environment color. Like, maybe we boost some saturation and some vibrance and we adjust shadows and highlights, but like we're not going crazy with filters and overtones and just none of that. I don't want to go too far out of the box. I want people to look back on the photos that we took and remember them for what they were. I mean, this is what their eyes saw.
Yes, what their eyes. Well, I think about a sunset. This is the perfect example. Okay, you're sitting at a sunset and you take a photo of it and the photo looks nothing like the actual sunset. There is a need for post-production.
Sure. Because cameras, like we think about technology being amazing, but the way God made our eyes to see that range of color. And darkness and highlights and shadows. Yes, there's still work to be done.
There's still work to be done. And so it's like trusting what you saw and not deviating it from it too far, but enhancing in the post-production process to bring it up to take you back to what that moment felt like.
Sure.
And a sunset always falls flat on camera. And so we do have the tools to get it closer to the actual experience of that sunset.
Okay, you walked right into my next question.
Oh, yes, I love that.
How far do you toe the line in... I hesitate to use the word manipulation because it sounds like you and I are very much purists.
Yes.
But sunset is a perfect representation or perfect example to talk about because I have played around with masks and different things in post to emphasize what is already there in the image but may not come through in that straight out of camera capture. So what's the line that you're towing with? Like I said, manipulation sounds like a negative word, but I mean it with the utmost respect to the photographic industry.
Yeah. So as you're talking about this, I went back immediately to a memory actually of my time in England, and my friend and I, we were playing around. Of course, I had my camera with me at all moments, and there's these sculptures, and we're on the coast, and the ocean is in the backdrop, and the sky was like so filled with puffy clouds, and so she snaps this photo of me. I'm jumping off of this like half ball sculpture thing. And I remember I took it back and I edited.
Say that 5 times
I know,
fast.
you can't say it at all. And I made it the most unrealistic, dark purple. And then I made myself pop out of that photo. Okay. For that, the use case was just personal.
Sure.
And for me, it was kind of like an expression of, and maybe I'm processing through some of this now, of just like feeling like being surrounded by darkness, but that I was popping out of it. And I look back at that photo and I like feel something, but it doesn't look realistic. So if someone was anticipating or thinking I was trying to make a realistic photo, they would think that I was cray-cray. Like they'd be like, what kind of edit job is this? So now I would say if I'm being creative for myself, just let it happen, whatever, and not to put so many parameters on this and that and what it should look like. Just maybe you could just be trying to capture that feeling or express something. Now, if we're doing corporate commercial work, a lot of times I'm listening to the client and what they need and what they want to either sell or connect with their clients or whatnot. I'm usually trying to match a vision. And so in that sense, I really try and rein in my creative editing process, manipulation, and listen for what they want. And even if I don't agree, that's not my job. My job is to serve them well with what they're looking for. And while I can, if I have the report, interject my professional opinion, ultimately my job is to do what they want. And so
it's a more technically correct capture versus an artistic interpretation.
Yes.
Right? I mean, yeah, the client and the vision is totally in play there.
Mm-hmm. But if it's for myself, I'm like, I think it's a heart posture too. Like if I'm trying to deceive someone into thinking this sunset looked like a certain, take us back to the sunset.
Sure.
If I'm trying to deceive someone, I probably need to check myself,
Fair enough. All right. So let's talk about this. Do you feel like your technical understanding of the craft of photography has changed over the years to a point where you're a lot more confident capturing as much as possible in camera? I think that's the pursuit for a lot of us is like you see these images online by these master photographers and that there was some technical preparation on the front end to get them to that image. There wasn't necessarily a whole lot of trickery in post-production.
So true.
It's like
It's
they
the
knew what they were
crafting.
doing.
Yes, before.
And that in-camera image is pretty close to what you're seeing. So talk about that kind of development over the years for you.
Okay, so I think where I really learned to appreciate light was when I was basically photographing in complete darkness.
Okay. Nice.
That sounds
Love
so weird.
that.
Yeah, so I would serve at my church and for the creative team. And, when we're in a church service, it is very, my particular church, very low light. And there are some, it's changed and morphed throughout the years, but I mean, it's stage lighting, which is harsh and terrible and all this stuff. And you are completely out of control. That's what I'll say. I was completely out of control out of all the lighting scenarios. And yet I was trying to capture emotion. I was trying to capture, that superhero shot of whoever was teaching that day, get different angles and whatnot. And so again, I think I was just really forced to look for light and to work with that light, and understand, wow, if I could only add light here. And so in not that scenario, when I actually can bring in light and thinking through like, okay, what could we do to emphasize this or to, we want a dramatic shot or we want this. So bringing in that light outside has been helpful, but the lack of light is what taught me to look for light and then add it where I want it to be able to control it. Does that make sense?
It does. Absolutely. And those environments are pretty wild. I mean, shooting in the dark does teach you a lot, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
And how to play with, and if you're like, okay, this is really grainy. Like,
Yep.
Is it rescuing that? And then also teaches you on post, like, how far can I go? What can I do with this lens and this camera? And I really love serving at church because it's pretty low stake. Like, there wasn't anyone who was anticipating this particular. So it allowed me to do things that I would have never been able to do at a wedding day, because it's like you can't get that far off of what is gonna work on a wedding day. You're not just like, yay, this works. Oh, it doesn't. Gonna miss a moment. And so lack of light was the best teacher, I think, for how to apply light well.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Everybody starts shooting natural light, available light, right? I mean, that's how everybody starts with a camera.
Yes.
Off-camera lighting is scary until you start playing with it. So like everyone's really just taking a camera early on, pointing it at what they want to point it at, and taking pictures and learning about how light interacts with that shot. So the idea of working in a dark room with limited available light
and changing light
because
you get a shot set up and then it'd be like
next
like,
song.
oh yeah. Yeah. Oh, another person that just came to mind is Sarah Lorray, because I would shoot weddings with her, and she always was like creative license and like go have fun with lights. And she is like a gearhead. She has like all the light equipment, and I would be moving it around for her when she's primary shooter. And so I also learned trial by fire in that scenario on wedding days, and having to listen to what she needs and then figure out, okay, where does that light need to go for that particular moment. And there's really no rules with light. you know?
Sure.
So people have their individual styles of light and how they like to light a room. And so that also is fun, just like watching other people and how they use light. In the headshot world, holy cow. People get in arguments about the best light.
Oh, yeah.
It's funny.
But isn't it fun to just sit back and kind of be a fly on the wall and watch someone else manipulate lighting to get that desired result? I learned so much from watching other people. And maybe that person I'm watching would tell you, like, I don't really know what I'm doing, but I'm going to test drive this. And
yeah, you like do something and then you're like, ooh, okay, tweak, like constantly.
But they get what they're going for. Mission accomplished. I learned so much from watching other people do it, more than I would ever learn from a book or struggling through it. Sure, I could probably figure it out eventually, but it's always more fun to watch someone else.
Especially if they'll talk out loud.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, they're like, okay, I'm making this decision. Oh, here. Yeah.
All right, so situation. You're shooting a wedding. You've got available light. Like, when you bring that camera to your face, like, what are some things that are going through your head? Like, what are you looking at? Like, it sounds wild, but like, I think of, like, I'll use this analogy, and I'm not a hunter, but I know hunters a lot of times they'll process a lot of things when they decide to bring that scope up to their eye, what they're looking at and all the variables around them. And so, like, as a photographer, I've learned over time that I'm subconsciously doing a lot of things, prepping for a shot. Like, what are some of those things that are going through your head as you're seeing the scene?
That's a good question. I'm like, I never think about it anymore.
Right?
Like, think really, if I like had to like slow down and think. And a wedding is, because again, you're like in an event style, so like the portrait portion is so different than during a ceremony or like if they're walking down the aisle, the thought process behind my head is a lot different than if I'm setting them up for a portrait.
Sure.
First of all, I'm like, is my shutter speed fast enough?
Oh, yeah.
A lot of times you can drop too low and you get that camera shaking. And I feel like if anything, that was the thing that would always trip me up. And I've never lost a shot from it, but I'd be like, ooh, like, what was I doing? And that's the thing that seemed to drop off the first. Like, and it's usually you're moving fast and whatnot.
Your ISO's too low to start with. You're playing with shutter in the moment, and you don't realize you've dropped it so low.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I, my style typically is I shoot wide open.
Okay.
Not totally wide open. I'll say wide open for that.
F1.4.
No. Oh, gosh. At one point, probably. But depending on the lens, all my lenses have different, and the place that I'll take them to. So, a 2.8 is not unnormal for me. Yeah, so I would, of my hierarchy of what I usually decide, maybe that's a good idea. Okay, my aperture I set first. I think it has the most creative element out of it. Okay. So depending on what I'm trying, the use case, like if I'm trying to blur out, if we're talking about coming down the aisle, like I still want to see people, but I want the main focal point to be the bride and the groom coming back down the aisle. So I'll probably shoot a little bit more wide open, but then I'm like, okay, well, what does my background look like? Do I have a lot of light leaking through that's going to blow it out or whatnot? And then, change my ISO and then shutter speed. It just all works together, So I have to do it so quickly.
Right.
And then as they're coming towards me, it's going to change focal length and whatnot. And then also I already had to decide what lens I was going to be on. I love shooting primes on wedding days.
Okay.
More of my corporate commercial work is not prime. I just love a prime on a wedding day. I think but it has another element of a thought process, because if I'm shooting an 85 and they're coming towards me, that's not going to work very long. Nope. So
unless you're backing up too.
Running backwards. Yeah. So that I'm making decisions based off of what is provided to me, the location, the lighting, but versus portrait, I'm going to find that beautiful light and set them up. I'm going to look a little bit more for leading lines. I'm going to look for textures to foreground and background. And the process of cooking that image looks very different than making this over here happen of the walking down the aisle. So,
yep.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So talk me through what does the gear in the bag look like for a wedding day? Like, give me some specifics versus what the gear looks like in the bag for a corporate
headshot. Okay. Well, actually, I love my 85 for corporate headshots too.
Okay.
So
it stays in the bag full time.
The 85 stays in the bag full time.
Okay.
For weddings, I do have my primes, my 35. Well, I do bring my 70-200 too. She's not a prime, but I just use that for event photography. It's kind of like the insurance policy because I don't know what I'm walking into. And yeah, 35, 85, 50. And now more of my corporate commercial work, I've brought in a just keep hitting this thing. I've brought in a 15-35. Okay. And also I shoot a 24-70 a lot now, corporate commercial side of things. And I do find myself reaching for it more now in event photography, kind of like fast pace, because it is just so versatile and I can get multiple shots very quickly. But I do say, like, I feel like my brain doesn't think as intentionally about the image that I'm putting out when I'm using the zoom lens in that scenario. So I still try and force myself to use prime because it slows me down enough to think about framing and whatnot. So, but corporate commercial, I do a lot larger scale things. And so I need that ability. But anything less than 15 really gets distorted. So I'm like, gotta be careful.
Are you shooting more than one camera body, or are you just running and gunning and quick changing those lenses?
Okay, so I've done both.
Okay.
All right. In the moment, Ryn loves shooting 2 cameras. Okay. Post-production, Ryn hates my life. My brain does well. Now, listen, Canon, I shoot a Canon. Canon, if you're listening, if I could sync my cameras and they would stay, like I could control, maybe it already does this and someone can message me. If I could sync my cameras to change my settings real time between all the synced cameras, I would literally shoot. I would have every lens on another camera body because I could just like boom, boom, boom. But when I am moving, especially for event photography, I end up picking this up and going, and I'm like, what was I? Because I wasn't thinking, I'm
you
just
went from
like going
outside
for it.
To indoors and everything. White balance is different.
All of it.
Dark.
All of it's different. And so it takes me a minute again. So in scenarios where I can slow down, but then usually I don't need 2 bodies.
Yeah.
I can actually just change the lens. So I learned very quickly that and most of the time I've never had a scenario where I haven't had time to change my lens. I have a very particular way. I keep my bag. It's ready to go. I know all the caps are off and everything. And I just boom, boom, boom. Like it doesn't take me. It actually takes me less time and I make less mistakes than when I was dual shooting. So now Canon, again, if you will come out with that where my settings sync between the cameras, I would go back to it. Hands down.
Real time, if you're manipulating camera A, the shutter speed, if you're bumping it up, you're telling me that the other camera, you would want the shutter speed to change with that?
Yes.
Really?
For events, that way I can have an 85, pull it out, but then at the same time I can pull out my 24-70 and get a wide shot, and that it would match in that use case.
That's a wild idea I never considered.
Oh, I think about it all the time, and I'm like, if I knew the right person to get this done, it's gonna happen. It can't seem that far off, right?
It probably already exists somewhere.
Probably.
Somehow.
I just don't know how to do it. So if y'all know how, let me know.
Somebody smarter than us has figured it out. That's wild.
Yeah.
All right. One piece of gear you can't live without. Let's take camera bodies and camera lenses out of the equation.
Oh, okay.
Like, what's a piece of shoot day gear that you can't live without? What's a go-to? Maybe it's not even photography related. Maybe it's like Ryn shoot day gear that,
I will say, like, you'll never find me without a battery block to charge.
Okay.
Like, that is something you will always... Oh, and then an extra pair of contacts. I always have an extra pair of contacts with me.
Really?
That would probably be, like, top. Yeah. Because I wear contacts, and I know I can change the little... What is it called? Diopter or whatever.
The diopter, yeah.
Yeah, diopter. That's what it is. So that it's not blurry.
For blind.
So that if I were to lose a contact, like I could manipulate it to where I could actually see something. But just how I show up and I'll get a headache and all these things. So I always have an extra pair of contacts with me.
Have you lost one?
I never have, but I think it's just been my like fear that has prevented me from. Yeah,
that's really smart because I've been in some tricky situations with contacts.
Yeah,
like I had one tear one time.
Oh,
and I had a couple hours before I could take care of it, and I was like, "Oh, here we go." Every blink is like, "Oh."
Yes, it just pulls your mind away from what you're trying to do. And so if you're in a high stress time period already, and then if your eye starts watering, like, so
contacts. Okay.
Both contacts and then a battery block. I always see people posting on Facebook groups like, oh, I forgot my battery, or my battery's not charged, or whatever. And so I'm like, worst case scenario, I have a battery block, I'll plug it in the wall. And even though I have normal use case, I have plenty. It's just an extra layer of like, I have a way to get out of this scenario.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. And then maybe some nerd clusters, just in case.
No, not typically. I forget to eat. I forget to eat and drink. That's not in my mind. Just batteries and contacts.
The essentials. The ultimate essentials.
Oh, and I also have hidden SD cards in my bag.
Oh, nice.
Because I have like the thing of all of my cards. And so, but sometimes I move them from bag to bag, or I might be editing in one location. And if I were to ever forget to grab the SD cards, I know for sure that I have hidden SD cards in the bottom of my deep abyss of my bag so that I'll never show up to a session and, not have a card. I'll always have a card hidden somewhere. So
does your husband like find them randomly in the car sometimes?
Okay.
It's like, Ryn?
He has never found them randomly except for like yesterday. That's so funny that you asked me that. He does come with me to some things. He mostly does all my drone work, and he just is backup. Like he knows how to shoot, all the things, he knows all the equipment. So I love having him with me. Because he thinks about me, like what I would think, he can anticipate it.
Okay.
But he got this like shirt down that he wore. It's like the shirt you wear one time a year, and he went to put it on, and he was like, and in the front pocket, he had 3 SD cards. He was like, what are these? I'm like, I have no idea, but I haven't missed any photos. So they were probably it's probably a backup of something that I just never needed.
Those are valuable 3 cards.
Yes.
Hello.
Yeah.
Man.
Or CF cards too. Like but
so he's a good second shooter. He's a good learner.
Oh yeah.
Quick on the job. Okay.
Yes, he is. He knows what I need when I need it. He's great. So
you get to boss him around with a camera.
But I love when he's on the drone for me, because I'm less fragmented, on the ground and in the air. And he's
you can
great
focus
at that.
on the groundwork, and he's flying.
He's flying.
Okay.
Yep.
Nice.
So
all right. So let's wrap things up. The age-old question: what would you say? What's Ryn's words of advice to somebody that's early in their photography career? Maybe not exactly sure, which direction to go, how to approach the business. What kind of words of wisdom do you have?
I would say to have a camera with you at all times. And not just phone camera. I mean, the camera you have with you is the best camera, right? That's what they say. But I would say just bring your camera everywhere, and photograph literally everything, and learn no light, moving kids, sports. Because even if you're not interested in sports photography, there's a lesson to learn in actually being able to photograph it well and communicate what you're trying to do. Do you want it to be, boom and blur? Do you want it to be totally blurry? Do you want it to be crystal clear? And to just press on. And then don't let the no's stop you. Like when I kept reaching out to people and they're like, they weren't a hard no, but it was just kind of like, I didn't let it stop me. I found, okay, if they're not going to let me come along, I'll just go find my own people who will bring me along and take a risk. And that was fun. And nerve-wracking. And
you shot 8 weddings, right, for free.
For
so
like nothing. Yeah.
There's a world where you need to start somewhere.
Yes, totally. And it wasn't most of the time because they didn't trust me to pay me. It was because they couldn't actually themselves pay me. And
what a blessing.
Yeah, it was. It was really sweet and special. And I did show up that day and left it all out on the table, even if I didn't know what I know now.
Sure.
I still serve my clients with that same desire to see them well and to capture that moment or that product or whatever I was doing. And I think that, if anything, has carried me far more than any technical skill that I could have had at the beginning or have learned now. It truly is about the people that you are seeing and serving, and that doesn't take technical skill. So don't let your lack of technical skills stop you from loving people well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Boom.
All right. So where can people find and connect with you?
Okay. The best place I would say is Instagram.
Okay.
I show up in all the places, but Instagram is my most relational component. Also, so my wedding side of things is rynloren.com, RYNLOREN. Ryn is short for Catherine.
Ah, there we go.
Yeah. So my name is KATHRYN. Ryn is that last part. Lauren is my middle name. And then for my corporate commercial work, more branding, real estate, it's rynlorencreative.com, where it houses all the other things that are, I'm kind of set into portrait and lifestyle and branding. So my team does it all.
Man.
Yeah.
You got a few things going on right now.
It's so fun. Yeah.
It sounds like it.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you taking time in your busy schedule to come sit down with me on the mic for a little while. I know we were talking before we got started, and you're not a stranger to the mic, but you might be a stranger to sitting on a mic and talking about you.
That's true. Yes.
So I can appreciate that. So thanks for coming and joining me. I had a great conversation. I learned a lot, and it's fun to talk to fellow photographers because we learn how we do things the same, how we do things differently. Mm-hmm. And I think we can always learn something from one another.
Always. So much to learn. Can't wait to see how you manipulate your light,
Right?
Yeah.
Awesome, Ryn. Thank you.
Thank you.